Today, looking at the 6.0, Tactacam 6.0, testing it out. Hit like and subscribe. Need all we can get. It's hot, so give me something for it being hot, and I'm out here sweating in the middle of the day. I've been waiting a long time for this. Finally, it's here. Tactacam 6.0. Man, I'm pumped about this. The new features on it are awesome. I've heard a lot of people kind of go, yeah, is it worth upgrading? Is it worth buying a new one when I had a 5.0? We're fixing to find out. We're going to go over it. We're going to get some shots. We're going to demo it. We're going to talk about what's different. I do love my 5.0. I love they've kind of given you instructions in there, kind of like they did with their cell cameras. I mean, it tells you exactly, like, get this card, which I have one, charge the battery, download the app, pair it with your phone, share your home. I mean, that's pretty cool. They've tried to make it as dumb proof as possible. And they've got the QR code for more stuff. Camera itself seems small, light, just like the last one. Go ahead and peel that off, as cool as that is. One thing about this that I find really cool that Tactacam will not get enough credit for is they didn't make it to where the battery is different than the 5.0. So it's the same battery that you use in your 5.0, which is awesome because then you don't have to buy a bunch of new batteries if you already have 5.0s. And that's uncommon. Most businesses would change the battery a little bit, make you buy a new battery so they can make some more money. Just like GoPro does it all the time. So same battery, remote works the same, and the remote works with your 5.0 wides and your fisheyes. So they're looking out for their customers by doing stuff like that. That's how I view that. So first thing I'm going to do, I've got a, let's see if you can see that. This is a SanDisk, and it's just going to be blurry. Anyway, it's a SanDisk 128 gig U3 SanDisk Extreme. And because these batteries are the same as the 5.0, I've got an already charged 5.0 battery in the truck. So one thing I am going to do with the new battery is I'm going to write on there 2022, so I know that that one is my newest one. So when I do go to the woods, I want to take my newest battery. But for now, I'm going to put in this 5.0 one that I've had for a long time. Go ahead and put the back cap on. And if you look at these side by side, not much different. That's the fisheye, which is same as the 5.0 stuff. I mean, it is just ever so slightly millimeters longer. So that's really pretty cool that they were able to pack all that in there and be not much different at all. All right, let's turn her on. Oh, this screen. So pumped to have a screen. All right, so we're recording right out of the gates. Now we've paused it. All right, so I'm going through and I'm trying to connect this to my app, and the Tactacam Connect app, the new app, is the one you're going to want to use, not the Wi-Fi app. So download Tactacam Connect. And it's really step by step. So there's no booklet in here that tells you like how to change the settings and stuff. I'm just going through the app and said I wanted to add a camera, and it's been really like step for step what I'm doing. And it even tells you on here, enable Wi-Fi on your Tactacam 6.0. Swipe down on the camera's touchscreen and tap once to turn the Wi-Fi icon green. So I'm going to turn down. I'm going to click Wi-Fi. When the camera is ready, tap the button below to initialize. So now we're connecting. I will say this while this is connecting, the auto power on and start recording seems way faster than the 5.0. All right, so I'm connected in the app. Battery, signal strength, store. I've got 494 minutes of storage, so that's awesome. Media. I might have some old media on there. I got a few old videos on there. Settings, so I can change the name. I can go into my camera settings. All this stuff was stuff you could do on the last one. Photo resolution, 5,000 by 3,800. That's awesome. Awesome photo resolution. Exposure compensation, image stabilization on. That's the big step up, and they've done is the image stabilization. I'm excited about that. Blackout, which would turn this screen black. I don't use that a lot. I kind of always question, do I really have it on or off? So I don't really like that. Vibration on. For right now, I'm going to leave it on, but it does seem to vibrate pretty loud. I don't like using the vibrate when deer hunting, but I do use it when I'm duck hunting because I do like that. You can feel it in your gun kind of vibrate to let you know it is coming on recording. But deer hunting, I don't want anything that might potentially spook them, and I don't know. I don't know that it would or not. Wind noise reduction, flip the video, active mode. Modes 1, 2, and 3 creates preset modes for quick access to personalized recording time. Awesome. Mode video resolution 1. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and bump this up to 4K at 60. It defaults at 4K at 30. 4K at 60 is a huge upgrade on this one, whereas you had 4K at 30. My iPhone here, which is I think an 11, doesn't even do 4K at 60. So people are saying, you know, is it really worth an upgrade? You know, is it worth upgrading to the new one? It does 4K at 60 frames a second. So imagine a duck flying through the air and you're shooting it. 4K at 30, it was pretty choppy. I've got video of that. Now you're going to be able to do 4K at 60, which is going to be way smoother, and you still have the nice sharp pixels. So that's going to be awesome for duck hunting, being able to do 4K at 60 frames a second. Mode 1 zoom level. So right now it's zoomed all the way out. Oh, there we go. All the way up to 8. I'm really hoping, and I hadn't got into it yet, I can adjust that on the touchscreen. Don't know that I can or not, but that's going to be cool. SD loop, awesome feature. If you don't have the fisheye, you can loop your videos, so you just let it record everything. So for duck hunting, I think it's gonna be awesome because I let it record everything. And then after the ducks have come in, after you've shot them and you're high-fiving, hit the button on your remote and it'll save that block back so long. So I don't know if I'm sure you can adjust it in here to the amount of time you want it to loop back. I'm not going to worry about it looping too much right now, and it's not a big deal with deer hunting, but for duck hunting and dove hunting, that is really cool. So you can go in here and set each of the modes. There's mode 1, 2, and 3. You can set them to what you want them to do. If you want it set up for more frames a second, or if you want it to be in loop mode, or if you want it to be zoomed all the way in versus zoomed all the way out. That's a pretty big feature too, to be able to adjust in your modes. Twilight mode, low light level. It has a sensor in here, so I'm not real sure if twilight mode is going to automatically do that or if you're going to have to turn it on or off. I'm going to leave it off for now. Filter, that's pretty cool. Just like your phone, now you can change the filter on here itself. I'm going to leave it on standard because I think that's what everybody's going to want to see. ISO settings, increase the brightness of your footage. Higher ISO settings can achieve a brighter image, but they may create more grain. I'm going to leave it on auto for now. Ton more features in the 6.0 versus the 5.0. I mean, just looking through the app, a ton more things. It does have the adjustable XY axis. I knew a lot of people that tried to use it on the 5.0 and they got all mad saying it wasn't perfectly centered. I never used it. I don't need to see a red dot on my videos, but some people do. So now you can adjust this. So if you want if it's hitting high or low, you can adjust this and get it so that it is centered with your camera. I think the shot cam did that, and so that's one of those things. Some people thought that was important, but whatever. So I'm gonna hit control. So it's letting me, I can look through the camera itself now. I'm controlling it through the app. Ability to zoom in. Awesome. I've got my different modes up here at the top if I want to change those. I'm just going to leave it on green for now until I play with it some more. And then of course I've got the settings up there. Focus on the touch screen itself and see what we can do with it, because that's the cool new fun feature we're all worried about. So I'm going to go disable the Wi-Fi. You can see storage, more, don't want a factory reset. So you got presets on here for zoom, slow-mo. So that's my preset 1. Oh, I didn't see, I swiped left. Preset 1, preset 2, preset 3. So I can adjust that on the app itself. I just got to swipe left to right on the app and then click on the one I want. And there's... All right, it's time to mount our 6.0 on our bow. We're using the stabilizer mount, which is new this year. I don't have my 5.0 here, or I would love to compare the weight, because I have seen people question the weight of the 6.0 in the mount, if it's going to be, which I scratched mine right out of the gates with a pair of scissors. Okay. That was actually supposed to be in the back. It's falling out. Alright, so we've got our stabilizer here. We're going to mount this up on our PSE. It is spring loaded, which I think is awesome. The fact that you can just pop that out, just put that in, pop that out, and now your camera's mounted, ready to go. Very safe in there. You don't have to worry about the screen getting hit like you did on the 5.0. I always had a little bit of worry about my 5.0 hitting it on walking in and stuff. So I'm just going to thread this on here, get it started. It'd be a lot easier if my bow was hanging, or get it started a little bit. Grab that wrench. Lights on good. Got a little rubber seal here in the back that I think kind of gives you a good sense of it ain't going anywhere. Let's go shoot something. So now we're going to shoot the actual deer from 20, 40, and 60, or maybe 55, depending on how far out we can get. Run through those same tests and see what we can see the difference, see the stabilization. Yes, it doesn't have legs. A dog ran off with one of my legs, so we're gonna make do like any poor redneck would do. So first off, 20 yards. We're gonna run through all 3 of those settings with lighted knock and regular knock, and then we're going back up to 40. So with this shot, I'm actually in the shade, shooting into the shade over there. With the 20-yard shot, I was standing in the sun, shooting into the shade. So if the video is a little bit, the lighting's different, that's going to be why. But anyway, let's do our test at 40 yards. Alright, this is 60 yards, 4K, no zoom, arrow 1. So this is green mode. All right, so I'm gonna play around with it a little bit now. I'm gonna put this in 1080p at 120 frames a second. One thing you'll notice, you have to change it from mode 1 video mode. I've been just doing video. You've got to put it in slow motion or it's going to jump out of 1080p at 120. So you've got to actually go from video to slow motion in mode 1 video mode to get 120 frames a second. And then it actually puts it in 1080p at 120 frames a second for you. So we're going to shoot a lighted knock at 120 frames a second from 60 yards, see what happens. This time is the red dot, so this is 4K, 60 frames a second, half zoom, but with the red dot on. So you can get a glimpse of that, 60 yards, half zoom, back to 4K, no lighted knock. Watch some of the video on my phone. It looks incredible, I think. I think they've done a huge upgrade. There's a lot of things in here that I didn't touch on. There's a low light sensor that as it gets dark, you no longer have to switch modes and change frames per second. I hadn't even tested that yet. Too hot. Battery life seems to be incredible. I've been leaving it on. It'll power off after 3 minutes, but I've been leaving it on and just kind of seeing what the battery looks like without actually testing it fully. And so far it's been incredible. It's like it's 70% right now, and I put it in yesterday, played with it a little bit today, and then shot a bunch today with it. So it looks like it's going to be phenomenal as usual on battery life. Got some smudge on the screen there. So all that looks great. One thing about it that I don't know enough about yet, but maybe I'll figure it out. So one thing for me that's an issue, or something that I would like to see an update in, is the screen stays on, from what I can tell, anytime it's recording, unless I don't know something that someone else knows. Blackout mode will turn this off, but it doesn't seem to turn this off. So for duck hunting, it's really kind of the only time I think it's going to be an issue. If you're up in a tree, if you're in a blind, maybe it'll be an issue, but if you're up in a tree deer hunting, I don't think that'll be a huge issue. So I'd like to be able to turn that off, but keep the camera recording. Not a huge deal, because realistically, even with my 5.0, I didn't do blackout mode. I didn't want it totally off. What I would do is grab some electrical tape. I didn't trust blackout mode. I didn't trust that I was going to actually be recording when I thought I was. So what I did, it worked really well, is just use some electrical tape and kind of made a little cover over the lights of the 5.0, and that's what I'll do for my 6.0. And right at daylight, when the ducks are starting to come in, I don't want that light shining, letting them know that I'm there. So what I'll do, just overlap some electrical tape on this, and then I'm in blackout mode, where they can't, well, I'd cover this too, obviously, but the screen's what I'm concerned about right now. They can't see any of the light, but I can still peel a piece of this up and go, okay, my battery life's at whatever, or my zoom's at whatever, or I want to change the frames per second. So I can just easily peel this back, make those adjustments, and then fold this back down and go back to hunting. So that's what I do. So it's not a huge deal with the lights. I cover this one up too, or put it in blackout mode. But for deer hunting, I'm not going to sweat it, but for duck hunting, I will cover that up and make it to where the light won't flare all the ducks. Anyway, I'm really impressed with it. I think it's a huge upgrade. If you've got a 5.0, don't sell your 5.0, because this will not fit in the FTS. So use that 5.0 for the FTS. Use this for your bow hunting, for duck hunting, dove hunting, pheasant, all that stuff, elk, whatever you're doing. This is an awesome tool to capture those hunts and be able to download them to your phone, text them out, or pull the SD card, put it in a computer, and upload it to YouTube or text it out. The best camera that I've ever seen, and I've seen them all, I've played with them all. This is the best one I've ever seen for capturing your hunts. So after all that testing, I highly recommend the Tactacam 6.0. It's an awesome tool, very affordable, especially compared to the other action cameras, or hunting point of view cameras. Highly recommend. You can't beat the price. You can't beat the quality. The company's an American company made by hunters. They are hunters. They're not surfers who also hate you and your Second Amendment rights. So if you're going to buy a camera that's going to record your hunts, that you're going to put out there what you're doing, support hunters and buy Tactacam. Be looking for a video coming out soon comparing the Tactacam 5.0, Tactacam 6.0, and a GoPro. Comparing the three of them, showing the pros and cons of each, working on that. There'll be bow shots and shotgun shots. So whether you're a duck hunter or a deer hunter or anything in between, it'll apply to you. So be looking for that. Hit subscribe so you'll see that when it comes out.